The New South Wales State Emergency Management Plan outlines the operations for major incidents and disaster response, including the roles, responsibilities, and functions of agencies and the community. Subplans have been created to address incidents that require specific management, such as floods, disease, pandemic, and terrorism. A specialised approach to management can be found in the subplan for major structural collapse. Major structural collapses cannot be managed by local operations and require multiple agencies and specialised resources. There are 4 key principles of emergency management: prevention, preparation, response, and recovery. These key concepts will be explored further through the scenario of a collapsed section of a major sporting stadium seating 200 fans. Prevention. Prevention refers to assessment and mitigation of potential risks to life, the environment, and property. The Australian Building Codes Board regulates the design and construction of buildings to ensure they meet performance and safety requirements of the National Construction Code. These requirements are regulated by Environmental Planning and Assessment Act 1979. Fire and Rescue New South Wales ensure fire, mechanical, and structural safety by investigating concerns and regulating compliance. The stadium should have been assessed for safety of use during repair through these regulatory bodies. The community must also be involved in disaster prevention through public safety campaigns, media warnings, and community education, including public access to emergency plans and processes. Preparation. Preparation involves education, training, resource management, exercises, and plan reviews. Agencies involved in major incidents should be trained in accordance with M-Plan and subplans. Training may include mock incidents with actors, team building exercises, and leadership training. Fire and Rescue New South Wales deliver training and run exercises with the Public Work Advisory and search and rescue personnel, focusing on known risks of constructions to manage structural collapses. Adequate equipment should be sourced, ready for use, and stored in relevant locations specific to associated risks. Training and plans must be exercised every 2 years and reviewed after a major incident, exercised or at least every 5 years after a previous review. Response. Response outlines actions to effectively control the major incident or disaster. The incident control system is a framework used within operations to manage incidents. The Emergency Operations Centres are a part of New South Wales Police Force and are controlled by an Emergency Operation Controller. The Emergency Operations Centres is made up of committees that assist agencies in the coordination of emergency planning. When incidents occur, the primary agency involved with each specific incident or combat agency analyses the situation as normal and may alert the Emergency Operations Centres to decide if formal emergency operations are necessary. Fire and Rescue New South Wales are the combat agency for major structural collapses and would enter the call-out phase as the scenario meets major incident criteria. For major structural collapses, a senior police officer must also assess the scene and notify the State Emergency Officer Controller. Urban Search and Rescue would then be deployed by Fire and Rescue New South Wales. The State Emergency Operations Controller will contact the Minister for Emergency Services and Media to inform the community. The appropriate supporting agencies will then be activated. New South Wales Police Force will conduct investigations of the scene, secure the area, identify disaster victims, and establish a temporary morgue. New South Wales Ambulance are responsible for pre-hospital management of casualties through triage, treatment, and transport, will provide rescue with special operations paramedics, and call for medical retrieval if necessary. Other agencies like Energy and Utility, Engineering, and Environmental Services may also be called upon to assist rescue to manage major structural collapses. Fire and Rescue New South Wales would organise evacuation of the remainder of the stadium and liaise with the New South Wales Police Force to establish traffic control and road closures with road and maritime services. Site control is established by a controller to declare the danger area and organise agency offices and resource areas. A base of operations for search and rescue is established to accommodate equipment, service vehicles, first aid stations, and helicopter landing sites. When the incident has been managed, Fire and Rescue New South Wales will deem the area safe, where control will be handed over to the site controller entering stand-down phase. Recovery. The recovery phase entails processes to restore the community back to original functioning. An assessment must be commenced early in the recovery phase to determine the extent of damage, resources needed, and to create a recovery plan. The collapsed stadium will be assessed, including structural stability, reconstruction or demolition, and removal of debris and other waste. Post-disaster debris and waste management is a complex process that can have lasting effects on the environment. Planning at the onset of the incident is essential to determine the suitable waste process for specific materials and ensure machinery and transportation equipment is ready at the recovery phase. Recovery should include collaboration from all levels of the community, including state, local, and individuals, to minimise the impact of major incidents. Funding for recovery is often expensive and is primarily met through involved agencies' regular budgets with no financial assistance from the government guaranteed. Social media plays a vital role in the recovery process through quick dissemination of information to the public, including disaster impact, donation, and volunteer requests. Welfare services, including counselling, shelters, and financial services, should be easily accessible to promote long-term physical and emotional recovery and to build community resilience. There are many aspects of the emergency management cycle that must be planned and executed appropriately to control major incidents. A successful emergency management plan focuses on quality leadership, access to adequate resources, legal frameworks, community involvement, and support.